Imagine two kids get the exact same ice cream cone. Kid number 1 eats it fast. Big bites. It's gone in 30 seconds. Kid number 2 does something strange. They take tiny little bites. And then, they do the weirdest thing. They actually put the ice cream cone back in the freezer between bites. Kid number 1 laughs and points. Why are you saving ice cream? That's so weird. Just eat it. But here's the twist. 5 minutes later, kid number 1 is sad. Their cone is gone. There's nothing left but a sticky napkin and a memory. Kid number 2. They go back to the freezer and pull out their cone. They still have half of it left. They are still enjoying it. Same ice cream. Same starting point. Completely different rules. Now let's translate that into adult life, because this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of people think money problems come from one simple thing: not earning enough money. And sure, that can be part of it. But here's what's fascinating. Many adults with good incomes, solid jobs, people who earn well above average, still feel stressed. They feel tight. They feel like they are one bad surprise, one car repair, one medical bill away from total panic. Why is that? Why do people with good incomes still feel broke? Because money doesn't only disappear when you buy expensive stuff. That's the old way of thinking. Money disappears slowly, quietly, when you buy too much stuff that keeps charging you forever, long after you've brought it home. Today I'm going to show you the invisible stuff tax. It's the cost you keep paying after the purchase is done. The cost nobody talks about. And I'm going to explain it so clearly that a 10-year-old could watch this video and then teach it to their parents. By the end of this video, you will know the simple rules that make staying broke honestly difficult. Let's start with a little experiment. Pretend we're holding a camera, like we're doing a YouTube house tour. We're going to visit 2 different apartments. Same city. Same neighborhood. Similar rent. But the people inside? They live in completely different financial worlds. Welcome to apartment A. Let's call this one looks rich. The person living here earns $95,000 a year. A good income. Our camera pans around the living room. Wow! Look at this. A huge TV. I mean, it's like a movie theater screen. It's mounted on the wall, and it's beautiful. And look at this couch. It's one of those fancy ones, deep and white, like it belongs in a hotel lobby. Probably cost a few $1,000s. Let's walk into the kitchen. It's full of gadgets. A fancy espresso machine. A stand mixer, still in the box. An air fryer. A bread maker. Another air fryer, a different model. Some of these boxes look like they haven't been opened since they were delivered. Now let's peek into the closets. Oh boy! They are stuffed with clothes. Shirts with tags still dangling from the sleeves. Shoes stacked in boxes, some never worn. It looks like a small clothing store. And here's the spare room. Except it's not really a room anymore. It's a storage mountain. Delivery boxes stacked everywhere, like a small cardboard city. Things they bought online and maybe forgot about. Now let's zoom in on the person living here. They're checking their bank balance on their phone. Watch their face. See how it tightens? See the stress in their eyes? Because despite that $95,000 income, they are 2 missed paychecks away from disaster. They don't gamble. They don't have some secret addiction. They aren't making obviously stupid choices. They just built a lifestyle that eats their whole paycheck every single month like a hungry animal. Now let's walk next door to apartment B. Let's call this one looks normal. The person here earns $52,000 a year. Almost half of what the first person makes. Our camera pans around this living room. Notice something different. There's more empty space. The couch is normal. Comfortable, but not fancy. The TV is normal. Nice size, but not a movie screen. Walk into the kitchen. It has tools they actually use. A good knife. A couple of pots. A coffee maker. Nothing fancy. No boxes piled up. Look in the closet. Clothes they actually wear. Nothing with tags. Nothing still wrapped in plastic. And the spare bedroom? It's actually a bedroom. A bed, a lamp, maybe a desk. Empty space on the floor. Now zoom in on this person. They check their bank account too. And look at their face. Calm. Relaxed. No stress. Why? Because they have 18 months of expenses saved in the bank. 18 months. They invest 20% of every single paycheck automatically. It happens whether they think about it or not. Same neighborhood. Similar rent. The lower income person has way more safety, more freedom, more peace. So what's the difference? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not secret investing tricks that only Wall Street knows. The difference is something nobody teaches in school. Something we have to learn ourselves. Stuff can steal your freedom. Let's talk about stuff like it's a pet. Because some stuff behaves exactly like a pet. You buy it once, and then it needs attention forever. It needs to be fed. You feed it with your space. You feed it with your cleaning time. You feed it with repairs and upgrades. You feed it with your stress and mental energy. I call this the stuff pet. And here's the real problem. Most people don't own just one or two stuffed pets. They don't have a cat and a hamster. Most people own a whole zoo. A zoo of things they bought and then forgot about. Think about it. A treadmill that quietly turned into a very expensive clothes rack. A bread maker that made exactly 2 loaves of bread 2 years ago and then retired forever. A fancy chair that nobody actually sits on because it's not that comfortable. A blender with 12 different buttons, but only one button ever gets used. And every single one of these stuffed pets adds a quiet bill to your life. Not always a bill you can see in your bank account. But a bill you will definitely feel in your energy, your space, and your freedom. Here's the rule that changes how you see purchases forever. Rule number 1. Everything you own costs you money twice. Cost number 1 is the price tag. This one is easy. You see it at the store. You swipe your card. You know what you paid. Cost number 2 is the hidden price. This is the sneaky part. This is the part they don't tell you about. The hidden price has 4 heads, like a video game boss you have to defeat. Head number 1 is space cost. Head number 2 is maintenance cost. Head number 3 is brain cost. Head number 4 is future cost. Let's break them down in kid language so everyone can understand. First, space cost. Your home is like a hotel. Every single square foot of your apartment or house is expensive. You pay rent or mortgage for every inch of it. So when you bring in a big item, you aren't just buying the item. You are renting a tiny hotel room inside your home for that item forever. Let's use the treadmill example. You buy it for $700. Seems like one cost. But it sits in your spare room or your living room for years. If it sits there for 5 years, mostly holding laundry, you didn't buy a treadmill. You bought a very expensive laundry shelf that charges you rent every single month. In kid language, it's like buying a toy, and then having to pay that toy a monthly allowance just for existing in your room. Second, maintenance cost. Some stuff just sits quietly. A rock. A book. A wooden chair. But other stuff is needy. It cries for attention. Cars need gas. They need insurance. They need new tires when the old ones wear out. They need repairs when things break. Boats need storage when you're not using them. They need cleaning. They need registration every year. They need repairs even if you only use them twice a year. In kid language, it's like having a bike that keeps getting flat tires even when you don't ride it. The bike just sits there, and somehow the tires still go flat. Third, brain cost. Have you ever seen a kid's messy room? What happens? They lose things constantly. They feel annoyed and overwhelmed. They can't focus on their homework because there's so much stuff everywhere. Adults are exactly the same. They just pretend they're not. Every extra object in your home creates a tiny thought in your brain. Where does this go? I should really organize that closet someday. I need to clean this off. Don't forget where I put that important thing. That's like having 100 browser tabs open in your brain at the same time. Your brain gets slower. You get more tired. You feel stressed for no obvious reason. The stress is coming from your stuff. Fourth, future cost. This one is the sneakiest of all. Every single dollar that is stuck in stuff is a dollar that cannot grow. Money that is trapped in things you don't really use is money that could have been working for you. If you spend $15,000 on comfort upgrades, fancy furniture, gadgets you barely touch, that money could have grown into something much bigger later. Invested over time, it could have become $30,000 or $50,000 or more. In kid language, imagine you have a magic bean. If you plant it in the ground, it grows into a giant beanstalk that gives you beans forever. If you eat it today, you get a snack, but you get no beanstalk, no future beans. Sometimes the snack is worth it. But many people eat all their beans, all their magic beans, and then wonder why they have no tree, no shade, no beans later when they need them. Remember the idea of carrying things? Imagine adulthood is like walking up a long hill with a backpack. Every time you buy something new, you add a little rock to your backpack. One rock? No problem. You barely notice it. But after 200 rocks? After 500 rocks? You're exhausted. Your back hurts. You're struggling to take another step. Here's the trap that catches so many people. A lot of people don't just buy objects. They buy a lifestyle that needs constant feeding. Bigger rent to store more stuff. Bigger bills to maintain all that stuff. More stress because of the clutter and the mental load. Less investing because the money is already spent. So you can look rich to the outside world. You can have the big TV and the fancy couch and the full closets. And still feel completely trapped. Now let's get to the practical part. The part you can actually use. These aren't be cheap rules. These are buy freedom rules. Rule number 1 is cost per use. Before you buy anything, ask yourself this question. How many times will I realistically use this? Be honest with yourself. Not how many times you hope you'll use it. How many times will you actually use it? Then do the math. Price divided by uses equals cost per use. If something costs $200 and you use it twice, that's $100 per use. That's not a purchase. That's a prank you played on yourself. You tricked yourself into spending $100 for one experience. If something costs $200 and you use it 200 times, that's $1 per use. That might be a great deal. Rule number 2 is the replacement question. Pick up an item in your home. Anything. Ask yourself this one question. If this disappeared today, would I pay money to replace it? If the answer is no, it's not useful. It's not valuable. It's just a weight you're carrying. It's a rock in your backpack. You can let it go. Rule number 3 is bored is not broken. If something works perfectly fine, keep it. Ads, commercials, social media, they all try to make you feel old, out of date, behind, if you don't upgrade to the newest version. But upgrading from boredom is like trading a working bike for a slightly shinier bike and paying extra money for no real difference. Both bikes get you where you're going. Rule number 4 is make spending harder and make saving easier. Delete shopping apps from your phone. Remove your saved credit card information from websites. Don't browse stores for fun. That's like going to a bakery when you're hungry and being surprised when you buy a cake. Use a 24-hour wait rule. If you see something you want, wait one full day. Most of the time, you'll forget about it. At the same time, make saving completely automatic. Set up transfers that happen without you thinking. Invest on payday, before the money even hits your checking account. Save before you see the money. If you never see it, you never miss it. Rule number 5 is the domino question. Before any big purchase, ask yourself this. What other spending will this cause? Buy a nice camera. Now you need lenses. Now you need a tripod. Now you need bags to carry it. Now you need software to edit the photos. It's dominoes. Each one knocks over the next. Buy gym equipment. Now you need a mat. Now you need storage racks. Now you need special cleaning supplies. Now you might sign up for workout subscriptions. The dominoes keep falling. Rule number 6 is define enough. This might be the most important rule of all. If you never define what enough means for you, you will chase more forever. More will never be enough. Decide what enough looks like. Enough home. Not a mansion. Enough home. Enough car. Not a fleet of cars. Enough car. Enough clothes. Enough. When you know what enough looks like, then every extra dollar of income becomes freedom, not new chains. Every raise becomes a tool to build safety, not just a license to buy more stuff. Rule number 7 is measure wealth by options. Real wealth is not a big TV. Real wealth is not a fancy car. Real wealth is being able to handle an emergency without panic. Real wealth is being able to say no to things you don't want to do. Real wealth is being able to leave a toxic job because you have savings to fall back on. Real wealth is being able to take a break when you're burned out. Options equal freedom. Stuff does not equal freedom. Let's go back to the 2 apartments one more time. Apartment A, the one that looks rich, isn't failing because the person is dumb or lazy or bad with money. They're failing because they're paying the stuff tax every single day. They're paying with space. They're paying with maintenance. They're paying with brain energy. They're paying with lost future growth. Apartment B, the one that looks normal, isn't lucky. They didn't win some lottery. They built rules for themselves. Simple rules. And rules create safety. So here's the big question I want to leave you with. Do you want to own your stuff, or are you okay with your stuff owning you? Because the calm life, the peaceful life, the free life, isn't unlocked when you finally earn enough. It's unlocked when you stop letting more steal your future. If you want more videos like this, simple money rules that families can watch together, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and leave a comment with one word below. Freedom. And tell me this. What category in your home multiplies the fastest? Is it clothes, kitchen gadgets, or random boxes you don't even remember buying? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.